Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, February 17th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a reverse aging health call tonight at 9 p.m. This universe has billions of ways to keep us humble and fascinated, all at the same time. Mike Pearson. There are many people in this world who don't realize that this universe is a magical, intelligent, and abundant playground. Now picture yourself just floating out in the universe, okay? And then you look at the vastness of everything as it appears. And I believe a lot of people are overwhelmed with this because now when you view this, which is an energetic grid, this universe, okay, layer after layer, and you look at all of this, and you're in your physical form and you're out there looking at all this, and then you start to understand that the abundance is endless. It's absolutely endless. Now, these people that aren't aware that the universe is a magical, intelligent, and abundant playground, because it is, they're blinded by limiting thoughts and feelings around money. These beliefs distract them from being open, loving, and appreciative for what they do have and tapping into the abundant universe that is available. It is this addiction to desire, to constantly wanting this or that and not getting the ego's needs met, which eventually creates the lacking, stuck feeling on the inside, which later manifests into their bank account in the outer world. Consciously or unconsciously, we are creating our financial situation every day. We do it. Nobody else does. We are either in the habit of proclaiming to the universe that we are lacking and there is just not enough, or we are being thankful and appreciative for everything that we do have. Once we see that our thoughts are creating each and every moment of reality, and any precious cycle of financial stuckness can dissolve instantly from your life. What you think about is what you get. That's it. People say, well, I think about a lot of things. I never get them. Really? Maybe you don't notice it. A lot of the things we think about, we don't even identify. It's like almost subconscious. If you visualize the end of the month is going to be tough and feel a squeeze happening there, you are manifesting a future financial crunch and may suddenly feel more stressed, hurried, and serious about this life. If you are only looking into your future feeling a sense of abundance and a deep, calm, serene energy, you'd manifest a very abundant, joyful life. We always manifest situations which mirror the consciousness of where we are at. Whatever the mind dwells upon is what we manifest. Now you can understand that you may dwell on something that you desire, but at the same time, your ego mind, you're saying you feel this tug of war. And so you're focused on something that you desire, but you're also negating that which you desire because of fear of not getting what you desire. And that's the ego mind. So it literally cancels it out, negates it. And that's why a lot of people say, well, I focus on this and I desire this, whatever it may be, but it doesn't come. It's because you have those worries, stresses, and fears that it's not going to happen, which is an attachment to the outcome of what you desire. Everything changes when we see that right now we have the opportunity to change our financial futures. We can step outside of our financial box and explore what it's like that life is easy for us, right? We can explore what it's like that life is easy for us. Stop affirming to the universe through complaining that there's never enough of this or that. Focus instead on gratitude, and you'll start seeing opportunities around every corner, knowing this life is a gift everywhere we go. Now, understand that some of us, because we get bitter or we get hurt or we have experiences, emotional, psychological, through this life or past lives or future lives, and we get cynical, right? But we don't know it. By putting out that low frequency, we're attracting more of it continuously. At the same time, becoming more and more frustrated and angry and upset and disappointed and suffer. All suffering comes from a deep, demanding, and grasping habit that states life should be something other than what it is. How many times have many of us throughout existences made that statement that life is, something's got to happen good, something better's got to happen. This can't be what life's all about. When we relinquish the addiction to this type of thinking, we will discover deeper feelings of joy, peace, and abundance inside. Through the mindful practice, sitting back from your thoughts, stepping away from your thoughts, observing the mind's habit, inner peace will find you. So many of us are intertwined in the mind. Now, you may or may not get all of your ego's needs, wants, and desires met in this life. Yet one day, you may discover something much better. The secret to totally transcending the habit of suffering. The secret of happiness lies in the mind's release from worldly time. The secret of happiness lies in the mind's release from worldly ties, Buddha, which means enlightened one. The biggest truth is that no matter how much money you have, the ego will never, ever feel that it's enough. There's a lot of people out there, all over the planet, that never are satisfied with the money they have. The ego controls them. The ego mind guides them, directs them, just like they're a puppet on a string, right? The master puppeteer is the ego mind. They're on the strings of the ego mind. So the ego mind pushes the buttons and tells them exactly what to do, what to feel, how to do it, what to get, and it's never enough because they're always feeling insecure that they're never going to have enough. And these are people that have billions of dollars and a few who have trillions of dollars. Now, let's just say, for giggles, that you had $1 billion, right? The ego would want $2 billion, just for safety and security reasons in case you somehow lost your first $1 billion. The game the ego plays is one of lack. Yet the good news is that this lack forces you to look for real security that is at the very core of your being. The ego is here to help you discover true freedom and redefine who you really are. Now, if you are not this body, this ego, this mind, or this personality, then who are you? This question takes you on a journey inward. And when and if you follow it, you'll reveal just how deeply are you connected to the God source. If you can let yourself relax and feel this intimate connection, everything will change. You will instantly boost your financial frequency. Letting yourself relax and feel this intimate connection, that's a toughie for many. The ego mind tricks you to make you think you're relaxed, right? You're not. Check your shoulders every now and then. Just be aware, not judging, but check your shoulders during the course of the day. See if they're relaxed, down, or a little bit up. It's a good way, because a lot of the times we aren't aware. Most of the time we're not aware. From this deep feeling of inner abundance, you can easily manifest as much money as you want in your outer world. When you meditate on your spiritual infinite nature, you realize that you can be instantly free from suffering at any time. You can see that every high and low in this life is just another spiritual learning experience pointing you the way home. Why would any of us that, we're somewhat awake to a certain extent, want to concentrate all the time with the ego mind in charge, worrying, stressing, and fearing about not having enough but not thinking you have enough, whatever it may be, and constantly stressing and fearing about it, worrying that you won't have enough to live, you won't have enough for this, you won't have it, what am I going to do if I don't have? See how we're literally tested constantly, so that when we start to wake up, we realize that, oh, wait a minute, the ego mind is not in charge here. And for you to be able to say that from the heart mind is a huge step into mastering the ego mind. And the ego mind, in its own way, wants you to master it so it can stop worry, stressing, and fearing. And see, there's a little thing, we all feel it, see, and it's fear of letting go, right? That to understand that you can manifest anything you desire, but there's this, it's kind of an energy, maybe it's a thought that there's a doubt. You have doubt, little doubt, right? That, oh no, that won't happen. Or what's going to, you see, the ego mind is still picking. And that little doubt that you'll have everything that you desire is there, which keeps you in a lower frequency that doesn't meet the abundance flow to you from the universe, from all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. So, see, we question, we doubt it. We doubt that it's actually real. We doubt that this isn't. If that was the case, then everybody would have everything they needed or wanted or desired. Not true. Because the way we are programmed, the way these bodies are programmed, and from other people's thoughts, we take on the belief mechanisms of those people's thoughts. And until we choose on our own to discover that these are not my thoughts, therefore they're not real. Okay? Then you begin to understand, I choose to go into the heart mind, stay in the heart mind, practice staying in the heart mind, staying in deep gratitude, being kind, gentle, generous, and humble with myself at all times, and then kicking back, right? Just kicking back. Now it's interesting, when you have something, right, that you desire, and you put it out to the universe. And you're good about it. You're not sitting there going, "Oh, what if it doesn't happen?" Or, "Oh, what if this?" And you don't worry about it. You don't put it on the back burner and worry about it at times. You just let it go. You say, "This is what I desire. I have all the faith, trust, and confidence in myself and the universe that it will, in the universe's time, take place." Now, it may not show up or appear exactly the way that you send it out, right? You send it out with specifics and details. Now, it may not appear into your life exactly like that. It may be something different but better. See, the universe knows more than we could ever imagine. So it engineers this from your request of high frequency without doubt, right? Without lack of trust, lack of confidence, and lack of faith. But it's not the same. It doesn't look the same. It's not what you identified when you sent that request to the universe. So some of us may miss it or let it pass on by. Now, it happens in certain times and situations where you say, "How can I do this? The timing's wrong, or this is off, or that's off. And this is the unknown, and it's a leap of faith." Say, it's an unknown, and it's a leap of faith. But most of us are what? See, the ego mind is sitting there saying, "What if this? What if that? What if this? What if that?" And then you talk yourself out of it, and it passes by. Or you just take a leap of faith, embrace it, boom, you go with it. See, the universe will deliver to us, but there's times we have to you take action upon it. You're receiving it, and so you embrace it, or you just let it pass you by. Then usually we let it pass us by because we're worried, stressing, and fearing about whether it's right. Does it fit in at this time and this place and space, or doesn't it? I would want it to be this, this, and this, but it's not because it's showing up now, and I don't really care to have it show up now because I'm not in a position of this, 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 and this. You see how it works? But it's the very thing that we initially asked for. But it's different because the universe sends something maybe even better that's different than what you put out there to the universe. And this happens to all of us. None of us are exempt from it. Now, the most essential practice to start manifesting financial abundance is doing one simple thing, which many have a difficult time doing: soaking, playing, and resting in the feelings that you are connected to the God source. Soaking, playing, and resting in the feelings that you are connected to the God source. When you can feel the truth behind this and start living it every day, you become tapped into a power that is beyond reason. You naturally start believing in yourself and create only abundant, loving thoughts about your financial future, or whatever it may be. You see each situation as an opportunity for growth that is supported by positive, empowering beliefs. You ever gone along in life, right? And you've aligned everything, right? You may not be totally aware of that, or even aware of it at all, but you've aligned everything in your life, and you're just kind of, hopping along. Everything seems to be okay, right? And something that you thought about, focused on, or sent out to the universe, could be a couple of years ago. It could have been a long time ago, and it shows up for you at the most inappropriate time. So this is a leap of faith. Now, since you're hopping along, comfortable within what you've created as your comfort zone, and then this comes in out of the clear blue, and you're going, "Why is this here now?" And then you say, "You can't do that," and forget about that. way out of line. Now, some people, even though they're in the comfort zone, say, you know what? I know it's not fit exactly the way I intended it to be, but you know what? Here it is. It's right in my lap. And it's got even better things connected with it. So you go, oh, this is great. And you embrace it and you go with it. Right? Now that kind of gets you, it pulls you out of that comfort zone into the unknown. Right? But then you go along, and then you have, as you go along with it, you embrace it, and you say, oh, this is great. Oh, I shouldn't have done it. Oh, but it's really great. Oh, I'm so grateful for it showing up in my life. And it takes you out of that habitual pattern. It takes you out of it. It takes you out of that comfort zone that you so carefully have set up in your life, whether you know it or not. When we can feel the truth behind this and start living it every day, we become tapped into a power that is beyond reason. We naturally start believing in ourselves and create only abundant, loving thoughts about our financial future or any future. We see each situation as an opportunity for growth that is supported by positive, empowering beliefs. Through the practice of feeling, knowing, and believing that we are deeply connected to the God Source, we discover that we are a super powerful manifesting being who can create anything we want. We can stop feeling like a mouse and relax like a lion. We can surrender into the feeling that we are enough. Then we can see how futile it is to chase the ego as it runs after the next big piece of cheese that fell on the floor. See the perfection in the seeming imperfection that seems to be. See the perfection in the seeming imperfection that seems to be. Lester Levinson. On the path to awakening, you may come to see that the ego has been pulling the wool over your eyes for a very, very, very long time. The ego wants you to believe that there is something in this outer world that will truly and permanently satisfy you. Large amount of money, new house, car, lover, new soulmate, or even that new hairstyle will make you feel fulfilled. The truth is, you will feel good. We know that. We've all experienced it. You'll feel good for a short time, yet later you are ensnared again into coming back for more. The endless cycle of thinking we will be fulfilled by the next desire is one of the most misleading, addictive, and tricky traps to walk around. So beware. The mind definitely has its agenda, and it will have its way with you unless you are vigilant with it. When you see that financial poverty and financial freedom are two very powerful spiritual experiences, then you become free from both of them. When you aren't attached to or resting either side, you are simply at peace with your situation as it is. Abundance is our natural state of being, which manifests in our lives naturally when we realize how deeply interconnected we truly are to the God Source. We are the God Source in this body. We always have been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. We're into this illusion, this fakeness of separation, which enables us to discover or rediscover that we are the God Source. When we realize that we are not separate from anything or anyone in this world, we've taken the first step into financial enlightenment. Through living with the knowing that we are connected to everyone in this world, we begin overflowing with energy, potentiality, and abundance again. When we start thinking, feeling, and vibrating like spiritual billionaires, we will become one. When we start thinking, feeling, and vibrating like a spiritual billionaire, we will become one. Not even debatable, we will become one. The key is to be in a constant state of gratitude, knowing you are connected to an infinite source at the core. Constant state of gratitude. We can retrain our brains to be free from ever having enough money. Be free from ever having enough money. We can reprogram our minds to practice feeling abundant and financially free. It can be tough to break these old patterns, period. And they are old patterns and each and every one of us deserve the best of everything. Why wouldn't we? We're immortal supreme beings in these bodies. We never die, right? We are the creation of all creation. We're parts of all of it. And the only reason we have this illusion of separation, right, is so that we can discover who and what we are by being in a false, unreal, right? Anything that changes, remember, is not real. Anything that does not change is real. And the only thing that will ever be real is the God that you are in that body. We have many opportunities, but you see what happens? I think everybody knows that what happens is that we get sidelined or we get distracted or diverted by our ego minds. See? We have that distraction by our ego minds. It's not like you're going, oh, the ego mind's taking me away again. You're saying, well, how do I get to an understanding that the ego mind is a tool, it is a vehicle that literally I can choose for it to assist me, and me recognizing and understanding that I am the God within this body and the ego mind is my servant, not my master. Why do you believe this planet has been in such disarray for eons? Why do you believe? Why do you? How do you feel about that? Why is it that way? It is that way because, for the most part, we've been asleep, and another part of it is that we aren't aware or cognizant of the fact that the ego mind is running the show. Okay, because we're tricked every second into believing that we're running the show. And we're not. And the only reason that we're not running the show is because we haven't figured it out yet that we're the gods. I mean, genuinely, and not from the ego mind, but from the heart mind. We are God. We all could change everything on this planet in a blink of the eye. It's just that then people say, well, how come it hasn't? It is. Ego mind wants you to believe that it isn't. Right? Doom and gloom, doom and gloom, doom and gloom, doom and gloom, doom and gloom. And then you feel the ego mind convinces you that you're powerless. Right? You can't do anything about it. Might as well just live with it. You ever heard that one? Might as well just live with it. That's the way life is. And it isn't. It isn't even our natural state of being. Most of the things, you think the ego mind, you believe the ego mind is our natural state of being? It's so far from it. We don't take risks majority of the time. We don't. And the interesting thing is that when we do take risks, we have expectations and attachments to the risk that we want full guarantee that we are not going to, well, what are they? Full guarantee that we're not going to fail, that it's going to be blissful and wonderful, and the outcome's always going to be good when we take these risks. And a lot of people subconsciously project those frequencies. And guess what happens? Doesn't work. Doesn't work. I've had conversations through the years with so many people that in their current, at the time in their current, where they were at, right, in their lives, let's say they had accomplished things and bumped into here and discovered this and took this risk and took that risk, fell down many times, stood up many times. But their biggest thing is that I've lost the fortune, I rebuilt the fortune, I lost it again, I rebuilt it, I lost it again. And through those times that were low-end times, they learned a lot. They learned it. It was a kick-up reminder of losing everything, having everything, losing everything, having anything, losing everything, having everything. So now, unfortunately, a lot of people don't experience that. And that is unfortunate. I know that sounds strange, but it is unfortunate that not all of us experience that. And a confusing thing is that you go to someone who's poor, right? You don't. It's you. How can
if you have
know
a TMJ
what being
pain,
poor is? First, you're wealthy, then you're poor, then you'll know the difference. But if you're poor, and you're just poor, right? And you've never been wealthy, you really don't know what poor is until you've been wealthy, and then you become poor. And the only reason this happens to us, now it can be that you've projected this out to the universe subconsciously, and the universe has responded by delivering what? Downfall. And you have all this money and you lose all this money. And all these unforeseen circumstances and situations, where did those come from? Most likely, you. The worry, stress, and fear. Knowing, and see, most of us don't know that abundance is our natural state of being. It isn't something that we achieve. It's something that we already have. Now, one would say, well, here they sit, living just in a shack and, very little money. And they're supposed to believe that their natural state of being is abundance. Yes, it is. And the only way that you're going to change your current situation is to change your vibrational frequency and be in a deep gratitude all the time. To stay in gratitude all the time. Now, you're in that center of the vortex, and it's very quiet, and it's serene and peaceful and comfortable. And then you see this raging storm all around you. All around you. You see everything flying around. It's all dark, and it's like a tornado, hurricane type thing. But where you're at in the center is peaceful. Now, you can say, well, maybe I'll stick my foot out there. Maybe I'll just, kind of peek in and see. And that's where the truth is with the ego mind, this endless cycle of thinking we will be fulfilled by the next desire is one of the most misleading, addictive, and tricky traps to walk around. Beware. It's slippery. Anytime we could fall into it. You ever been walking on ice? Okay. And you know the ice is there, you can see it. And you are very careful. You're looking at your steps as you're walking. And then, whoop, 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 you slip and fall. Even though you were watching, you slipped and fall. See, and the mind definitely has its agenda, and it will have its way with you unless you are vigilant with it. And then you begin to understand that when you see that financial poverty and financial freedom are two very powerful spiritual experiences, then you become free from both of them. I'm not saying it's easy, all right? It's not like pushing a button and click and everything's fine and you're readjusted and it's all floating. It's great. You're at peace because it's a habit that we have practiced our whole lives under the ego mind's control and direction. Now, the difference here is that the ego mind is saying, "Ooh, better be careful of that. Ooh, that's not good. Not good." And the heart mind is saying, "Go for it. Embrace it. This is what you asked for. Embrace it. It's an unknown. You're not going to know the outcome, right? You don't have any attachments to it or expectations. Just go for it. Embrace it. Don't grab it and smother it, and just let it go. Go with the flow." Now, it's easy when I state over and over again the visualization of the boats on the river, right? We've all seen rafting, right? And you got a group of people running the rapids, and they're digging with their paddles, and they're soaked in water, and they're going against the current. Because it would pretty much be effortless if they were going with the current, right? All they do is just guide themselves. Now, you take the raft or you take the boat, kind of like you got a nice easy lounge there. It's really warm, and you got a blanket, and I'm going to take it, and you can't find any oars. There's no oars. That's taboo for the ego mind. What do you mean, no oars? What if I smash into a rock? This is crazy. Who in the right mind would get in that boat and just let the current take them wherever it's going to take them? Right? You look at fish, right? They're going upstream to spawn. And then they spawn and they get so exhausted they die. And that's when the bears have a feast because they're totally spent. Get it going against the current. Now, when you're downstream thinking, you aren't fighting anything. You just let it go. And you just float. And wherever it takes you, that's the scary part for most people. They'll say they're not going to do that. That's crazy. And you aren't out to prove anything. You're just saying, I no longer care to have the ego mind control me. Why would I have upstream thinking instead of downstream? Downstream's going with the flow. You're at a much easier pace. You're not in a race. It's not a race, and you're not in a rat race. I can guarantee you on one hand, on that river, you can count how many boats are going downstream. Not many at all. Majority of the boats are going upstream. Because we hang on. We hang on, and we hang on, and we hang on. And the ego mind keeps saying, oh, it'll be better. Don't worry. It's going to be better. And it's interesting, isn't it? How many of us, generations of us, have been in some form of labor, right? Job that we just don't like. We don't enjoy it. We don't enjoy sitting in cubicles like little rats in a cage on a hamster wheel, answering phones, having the boss come out and look over everybody, working in cubicles, which is the majority of this country, being told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, when to come in and when to come into work, when to leave work, and you're doing the same thing every day. Every day. Over and over and over and over and over again. And the only reason that it isn't enjoyable because you don't enjoy it. It's not something you enjoy. It just isn't. You do it because of why? Well, how many people say, well, they do this because they have to pay the bills? Now, and I've asked people so many times, well, what is it that you like doing? And then they tell you, and you say, well, why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? And when you enjoy doing it, you're creating value and building wealth for yourself and the civilization. Oh no, they say. They wouldn't be able to make any money. See what's happening here? They are already, with what they enjoy doing, they're already convinced that they would not be able to make money with what they like doing. So therefore they do what they don't like to make money to pay bills. Does that make any sense to anybody? Well, this is all I could get. Well, maybe that's because that's all you feel you're worth. Take what you can get. Instead of knowing that whatever it is I desire that I want, I will have. Now, it doesn't, the difference is that your vibrational frequency is high. You're in gratitude. You practice it all the time. You practice it because you want to, not because you're going to get something out of it. And so as you do this, things shift and change. Someone says, well, Al, how come you're not all upset about this? Why? Why would I be upset about it? I just go with the flow. This too shall pass. Not forever. So your energies are directed on what you want, not what you don't want. That's all there is to it. And deep gratitude, gentleness, kindness, generosity for oneself. And you just flow. You go with the flow. And you don't, the expectations, we have desires. We have expectations. Sometimes we have attachments, but not obsessively. We know that it's going to come. We don't know when, but we automatically know it's coming. And so it's taken care of. The universe is in charge of it. The universe has your back 24/7, always has, always will. Okay? Now, the interesting thing about it is that someone who continually complains about how their life is miserable and how their job they don't like and their relationship sucks and they've got all these issues and everything, and they say the life they have is hell. If there was a hell, then they say they would be in it. And all of those frequencies are answered by the universe. Okay? We either dig a deeper and bigger hole for ourselves, or we climb out of it. And it's all up to each and every one of us. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and then easy and slow breath out from the mouth. And remain still. We have the natural power inside of us to attract anything. Any amount of money, any special person, any amazing experience, anything that we desire. Every one of us are supreme, immortal, magical, manifesting beings in these bodies. Whatever it is that you want or need in this life, you can totally have it if you're willing to relax into feeling that it is already yours. Can you imagine the reality of it? Can you feel that your dream life is already here now? What does receiving your dream life actually feel like? Can you describe it in deep detail to yourself or others? Let's imagine that I was your best friend and you're describing in detail the most amazing movie you have ever seen about your life. Yes, you're watching in a magical manifesting theater. What did you see? What happened? How did you feel when the movie ended? Did you feel satisfied? This deeply satisfied feeling of relief is the place to hang out and practice deepening into all day long. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night. And we'll return here tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, for our Reverse Aging Health Call. And Saturday, February 18th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Stay in gratitude. If you aren't in gratitude, move yourself into gratitude 24/7. Stay there. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with oneself at all times, no matter what's going on out there. Live the life you want, not the life you don't want.